Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down.
When I play that,
Tongue liar, go and tell that
I think of several people in politics, but I think of I have a governor in the state of Utah who's a complete scumbag. I mean, this guy's a lying, cheating, whatchamacallit, and I'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. But it came back that he doesn't even have the signatures to be on the ballot, and everyone's turning a blind eye, media, everybody. And so when you look at the fork-tongued liar and you think, oh my gosh, my governor, all of my legislators, my state senators, and I know this goes for every state, and there's so many scumbags in government that I in this business I can only pick out. There's probably 3 people that I would say are not total scumbags, and they're actually worth their salt in government. And I know a lot of people in government. This is all I do, so it's bad, you guys. Melissa's with me, and I love your point about, and it's frightening, but you have to say that again. As far as people helping in disasters, are they the reason for DoD directive?
Well, there's a lot. This DoD directive can be very flexible in a lot of different situations. So we always tend to go to like, oh, it'll be like the January 6th insurrection thing. They'll call in military people and shoot people. But we know that years ago, the government armed all kinds of intergovernmental agencies. Right. If you attempt to thwart anything, like if you're in Western North Carolina and you don't like FEMA and you want FEMA to go away and leave you alone, can they marshal? Well, if you're a helper, if you're one of these people in a helicopter, can they come and shoot you out of the sky? How many different ways can this be used against the American people?
Let's put it this way. The reason I brought up my governor, and you might have a scumbag governor too, but mine's pretty horrific. Mine's Gavin Newsom Jr., but in the state of Utah. But it's not like your state's going to help you. It's not like your state's going to stand up for you, because I don't have anyone in government in Utah right now that I would say would help us in that situation to call the feds down in a situation where the DOD wants to come in and shoot people because you're not doing what the government says, or because you're saying something the government doesn't want you to say, right?
Yeah, I think that is the big sleeper story, really, is that we still as a people have not fully come to terms with the fact that the government does not care about us.
Yeah.
I wake up in the middle of the night and I think I'm just a lab rat. We're all just lab rats, and we are totally expendable people. Every politician thinks that we're all expendable.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris thinks the people in Western North Carolina are expendable. They're not going to vote for her anyway. Why should she give one dime to help them? So it's a grim state of affairs, but the sooner we wrap our heads around it, the better it will be for us. We know we're watching North Carolina. We know who will help us. It's our fellow citizens.
Yeah.
It's not even left and right.
Right. It's going to take local
person
sheriffs.
Who's more like me, I trust them to help me more than I trust my governor to help.
Everybody should be asking themselves, do you have a local sheriff that's going to stand up against the state or against the feds? I don't have a sheriff like that. I can't say I have a sheriff like that. The sheriff I have does all the bidding of the party. And the Republican Party in my state's horrific right now. They're horrific, full of crime, just completely horrific. So he'll do whatever they say. And so bought and sold, I can't even tell you. So I don't have a sheriff like that. Do you? Do you have a sheriff that would stand up against the feds?
No. And the question to ask now is, would they be able to shoot him?
Yeah.
If he's trying to stand against the policy,
and I don't know,
would they get rid of him too? Where does that end?
Yeah.
And I do not want the military, the U.S. military, be authorized to shoot in the streets of the United States any citizens of any kind. Right. Even if you're burning down Portland, I don't want the military to come in and shoot you.
No trial, just a shooting. Yeah, this is what the DOD directive's all about. It's basically Patriot Act on steroids and the NDAA on steroids. So,
yeah. So we need to have a big come to Jesus moment where we all understand that civil liberties cut across political lines.
Yeah, I know.
You know, Democrats hate speech. They're all about hate speech. But we've heard the little kind of cliche, well, they just hate speech. They don't really, they're not really about hate speech. They're about speech they hate.
Yes.
Anything that makes them look bad, that's what they hate. That's hate speech. And we need to no, that's not what we're talking about. We all know that there is legitimately, there are evil people in the world, and they say evil, ugly, bad things.
Right. So,
but I don't want them shot by the military in the street.
Before we leave this hour, talk about the lying media poll. There's really trying to salvage media, but go ahead.
Well, Gallup has done a new poll, and they're showing a historic low of confidence in the media. I know that's a shocking story. 32% of the population now report having a great deal or a fair amount of confidence in media reports. And I'm like, 32%? Where are those people living?
I know.
What rock are they hiding under? 5%. I don't know where they live.
5% actually still believe, I think, the media. And those 5% are your extreme lefty loonies, the really angry ones with the combat boots and the pink hair. And every editor of every local news department, and I know this for a fact, is a screaming liberal. I mean, total moron, total idiot. And they believe whatever the AP says. So I think there's a good 5-10% that believe the media, really believe everything they have to say. Don't you? Maybe 10.
Well, if you identify yourself as a Republican leaning type, you're at only 11%.
Yeah. Well,
and the way that this is being reported is, that this big dip is being reported by, the Democrats are the ones who are losing. They're the ones who are losing confidence. Has plummeted. Democrats and independents have plummeted to 13%. It's gone down 13 percentage points. I'm just like, okay, you know what? That's because Republicans couldn't get any worse.
Yeah. It's
the only way to move that poll down was to look at the loss of confidence by Democrats. And we can see it happening.
Yeah.
Bill Maher is not even enthusiastic about the election, right?
Even Bill Maher, the scumbag. Yeah.
Well, he is a scumbag, but even he doesn't like Kamala.
Well, we have too much fluoride in the water. People are going along with stuff way too much, and they partially believe the media. The media only reports probably car accidents, truthfully. Other than that, you have these total morons running news departments. And the biggest morons I've ever met in my life, and I've met a few, honestly, they're gullible, and they believe whatever the media says, and everything else is a conspiracy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, talk about lefty.
We had a wake up moment here
20 seconds.
At our house.
20 seconds.
My husband was talking to his mother, and she's like, I can't stand all the political ads. And my husband and I are like, what political ads? You don't watch TV hardly at all. You don't ever see them.
Yep. I know.
That's how to get away from
Melissa, thank you. And of course, be faithful, be fearless. Go to KateDalleyRadio.com, support the show, share the podcast, and support the sponsors of this show. See you tomorrow.
Hey, this is Steve